State of Cannabis.
This is the State of Cannabis News Digest, a roundup of this week's key developments in the cannabis industry. Our top stories.
In California, the legal cannabis market remains a major revenue engine, with more than $500 million in tax receipts in just the first half of the year. Meanwhile, Minnesota marks a milestone as its first non-tribal recreational dispensaries open. Rhode Island prepares to expand access with new licenses, and New Jersey launches a state-backed lending program to help small operators grow. But not all headlines are celebratory. In New Mexico, a cultivator takes the state to court over a flood that destroyed crops. And in Illinois and Maryland, leaders are moving aggressively to rein in intoxicating hemp-derived products, part of a broader national debate playing out in state houses, courts, and Congress. Stay with us. We'll break down each of these stories in full, with the details behind the numbers, the rulings, and the policies shaping America's fast-evolving cannabis industry.
And now here is the deeper look at the key events in the cannabis world this week.
California's legal cannabis industry continues to generate significant revenue for the state. According to new data released by the Department of Tax and Fee Administration, cannabis sales produced $259 million in tax revenue during the second quarter of 2025. This included $147 million in excise tax and $112 million in sales tax. Combined with a revised first quarter total, the state of California collected nearly $503 million in cannabis tax during the first half of the year.
Minnesota's long-anticipated non-tribal adult-use cannabis retail is now live. On Tuesday, a first store from Legacy Cannabis opened as the first state-licensed non-tribal dispensary to sell recreational cannabis. The store is offering flower grown by the White Earth Nation, reflecting partnerships with tribal producers that satisfy Minnesota's in-state cultivation requirement. To broaden access, the Minnesota's Office of Cannabis Management issued licenses allowing the medical operators Green Goods and Rise to sell recreational products. Green Goods began adult-use sales at all 8 of its locations, while Rise began adult-use sales at 5 stores, with more on the way. Non-tribal retailers initially struggled to secure inventory because Minnesota requires cannabis to be grown in-state and cultivator, and retail licenses were issued in close succession. A compact cleared the way for retailers to source product from tribal nations, providing near-term supply while state-licensed cultivation expands. For consumers, the milestone brings legal non-tribal options. For operators, the phased approach uses existing medical storefronts and tribal partnerships to stabilize early supply and expand legal access across the state.
Rhode Island's regulated cannabis market is preparing for a broader retail footprint. The Cannabis Control Commission has opened a licensing window for 24 adult-use retail permits, taking online applications through the end of December. The allocation includes 6 licenses reserved for social equity applicants and 6 for worker-owned cooperatives. Applications will be evaluated for eligibility, then entered into a lottery that distributes licenses across 6 geographic zones with a cap of 4 per zone. Program fees include a $7,500 application charge and a $30,000 annual license fee. Social equity applicants receive a first-year waiver of the application fee. The 6-zone framework is designed to add stores closer to where people live, which can reduce travel and expand product choice. For prospective operators, the lottery clarifies the path to entry, and the set-aside categories create opportunities for social equity applicants and worker-owned cooperatives. The result is a staged expansion that aims to increase access while maintaining regulatory oversight.
New Jersey is expanding capital access for its cannabis industry with a new lending pilot. On September 15th, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority Board approved NJ Leaf, a $15 million program offering low-cost loans to recreational cannabis cultivators, manufacturers, and testing labs. Fixed asset loans range from $100,000 to $1.5 million for property and equipment, while working capital loans go up to $500,000 for operating needs. To qualify, businesses must hold a valid license, be based in New Jersey, employ fewer than 250 people, and make under $5 million a year. 5% of funds are set aside for businesses in impact zones. For patients and consumers, the state expects expanded cultivation, manufacturing, and testing capacity to improve product availability and safety. For businesses, the financing offers a pathway to growth and stability within New Jersey's regulated market.
Want to stay ahead of the smoke in America's evolving cannabis landscape? Subscribe to State of Cannabis, Weekly News Digest, your trusted source for fact-checked, nonpartisan cannabis reporting. Each week, we bring you the latest on federal reforms, state laws, industry shifts, and public health developments, all in one digestible episode. Whether you're a policymaker, patient, advocate, or entrepreneur, we've got the information you need to stay informed. Hit follow, give us a like or a thumbs up. Drop a review or leave a comment. Share this episode with someone who cares about cannabis reform. Because in this industry, knowledge isn't just power, it's survival.
Illinois is poised to join states tightening rules on intoxicating hemp-derived THC. Governor J.B. Pritzker said on September 17th that after the legislature failed to pass a bill, he is prepared to take executive action to address unregulated Delta-8, Delta-9, and Delta-10 products that are sold at retail. He previously backed House Bill 4293 to bring licensing, testing, packaging, and age gating in line with Illinois' cannabis law. The Senate passed an amended bill 54-1 last year, but the House did not act. The 2025 session ended in May without legislation, though a veto session runs October 14th to 30th. With public health concerns as central, the governor's office cited a report of more than 9,000 Delta-8 poisoning cases since 2021, with 41% involving children. Other states provide a template. California implemented emergency rules in 2024. This month, Texas limited sales to adults 21 and older, strengthened testing and labeling, and increased enforcement by executive order after vetoing a ban that officials said would face lengthy litigation. A federal appellate court recently upheld an Arkansas law restricting hemp products, indicating that states can regulate or ban such items provided interstate transport of legal hemp is not impeded. Illinois trade groups largely favor regulation, some supporting 21-plus sales, comprehensive testing and labeling, and a reinvestment tax, while others support using state authority to protect communities from untested intoxicating products and have backed channeling hemp sales through licensed cannabis businesses. If Illinois adopts executive rules, operators should prepare for licensing, testing, labeling, and age gating similar to the state's cannabis standards and potential legal challenges.
In a significant decision for Maryland's cannabis industry, the state's appellate court ruled that hemp-derived intoxicating products, such as Delta-8 and Delta-10 THC, were never legal in the state. The ruling came in, reversing a Washington County injunction that had allowed some hemp retailers to sell these products while challenging the Cannabis Reform Act. The court emphasized that intoxicating hemp products have always been illegal under Maryland law, despite limited enforcement and federal ambiguity. The 2023 Maryland Cannabis Reform Act, which passed after voters approved recreational cannabis in 2022, explicitly prohibits synthetic hemp-derived THC and requires businesses to obtain state licenses to sell psychoactive cannabis products, and creates equity programs to address past harms from cannabis enforcement. For consumers, the ruling means that intoxicating hemp products previously found in smoke shops and convenience stores will now only be available in licensed dispensaries. For hemp businesses, it clarifies that psychoactive hemp derivatives are prohibited outside the regulated cannabis market, though industrial hemp and CBD products remain permitted.
In Congress, a group of Democratic senators, led by Oregon's Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley, is pushing for national standards on hemp-derived products. They're opposing a proposed federal ban on items with THC or synthetic compounds like Delta-8. That ban was pulled from a spending bill after Kentucky Senator Rand Paul threatened to block it. Wyden and Merkley argue the hemp industry supports hundreds of thousands of jobs and billions in economic activity. They want rules similar to state cannabis programs, with sales for adults over 21, clear labeling, bans on synthetics, and mandatory testing. But until Congress acts, states are setting their own rules, cracking down on unlicensed sales, moving to integrate hemp into the state cannabis market while banning synthetics, and putting new age limits on hemp products. At the same time, the Trump administration is weighing whether to reclassify marijuana at the federal level. Sarah Carter, the nominee to head the White House Drug Policy Office, told senators the review is ongoing and a final decision on marijuana scheduling is expected later this year.
If you're a medical cannabis patient or thinking about becoming one, check out statecannabis.org. It's your trusted resource for state-specific info on cannabis laws, access to discounted medical marijuana certifications, and guides to help you stay compliant and informed. Just visit statecannabis.org, choose your state, and get the help you need, fast and easy.
A lawsuit in New Mexico spotlights how infrastructure and water quality can intersect with cannabis cultivation. Albuquerque Cannabis Corporation filed a lawsuit alleging that a supervisor at Los Luceros historic site in Rio Arriba County left a gate open during irrigation in August 2023. According to the complaint, the lapse sent more than 650,000 gallons of water onto the company's adjacent 4-acre site, inundating greenhouses and plants that were set to enter the flowering stage. The company says the flood destroyed greenhouse equipment across 4 structures and contaminated 850 plants, as well as about 400 pounds of processed flower and trim. The suit names the New Mexico governor, the attorney general, and other officials, and invokes the Tort Claims Act's exception for negligence in the operation or maintenance of state facilities. Later lab tests reportedly detected fecal bacteria, making the crop unsafe for sale. The cultivator is seeking $442,000 in damages.
This was the State of Cannabis News Digest, available weekly. You can listen to us on all main podcast platforms. To make sure you don't miss out on the latest updates and in-depth analysis of the cannabis industry, be sure to subscribe to our podcast. By subscribing, you'll get notifications for each new episode, helping you stay informed and ahead in the ever-evolving cannabis market. Join us next Saturday for more insights. Until then, keep thriving and stay green.